Can an app help children learn better? Welcome back to Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. Joining us from Nuroe, N-U-R-O-E, based in Sweden, is CEO Hoa Ly. Hi, Hoa.
Hi, nice meeting you, Fred.
A pleasure to meet you. And what you have developed is an app designed, if I understand correctly, designed to enhance attention and
Yes.
accelerate learning. So give us the overview here.
Yeah, so it's really a training program which kind of enhances your working memory. Working memory is the brain's executive function responsible for, what are you focusing on, taking out distraction, and by doing that, you're actually absorbing, learning, like knowledge, in a much better way if you enhance your working memory. I mean, this is research that's been done during 30 years, but we are finally taking that research out of the lab and into into homes for families to actually use this type of training program.
So tell us more about the research and how this all came about.
Yeah, so there's been research on this field, the brain's executive function, and more specifically, working memory for the last 30 years. It has been done by different research groups. The one I co-founded this company with, Professor Torkel Klingberg, he actually developed a program that could actually enhance working memory. And recently, independent researchers have taken our training program, applied it to 6-7 years old kids in Germany, and comparing that to kids who are, doing normal class instruction, German and math classes. So for 5 weeks, they were doing our training program instead of 20, 35 minutes of math and German in the morning. And after these 5 weeks, the researchers could see that attention just increased significantly among those who had done our training program. And later, 6 months, 12 months later, they could see that learning, math test and reading test, they were outperforming their peers. 3 years after this short intervention or short training, they could actually see that these kids had a higher chances of entering more academic difficult schools, which is, just amazing. You do this training program for 12 hours and it has the potential to change your academic performance years after.
That sounds amazing. Let's take a look at a short video.
Yay! One. It's on different sides. My weight goes like C goes. Oh.
Step us through how this works.
Yeah, so what you can see here is a girl using our app. Her mom or dad just downloaded the app, the parent app that you can get from App Store or Google Play Store. And the kid can use, their parent's phone or an iPad or another type of tablet and just, scan a code, and then they can start the training. And what they do is basically 3 exercises of working memory every day for 8 to 10 weeks, and then you're done. It's a daily training that you do for 15 minutes each session or each day. short for a certain number of weeks. So, I mean, extremely time efficient type of training for that type of outcome. I mean, you can't find anything else investing 15 minutes a day for 8 to 10 weeks giving you this kind of effects, which is, you know, really remarkable. And I mean, the secret here is that this app, this training is focused on one particular function in the brain, the working memory, which has such a huge effect on focus, learning, even sharper thinking. So, I mean, that is the thing.
And what is the age range that this is intended for once again?
Yeah, so the German study was on kids age 6 to 7 years old, but I mean, you can do it during your whole school during school ages, because I mean that's when your brain's neuroplasticity is as its, you know, greatest level, so to say.
Is there value for adults or older adults?
Yeah, we have seen that with our particular training program, actually, for example, among seniors, increasing a protein called BDNF, which is correlated to neuroplasticity. So even at an age where, you know, your brain is not developing, you can do the training program and actually get those type of effects.
Very interesting. So, but you're marketing this primarily for grade school students right now.
Exactly, because that's where we, I mean, have the biggest effects. The most recent study is on this population. So, I mean, we think that this is an amazing tool to prepare, you know, the next generation for, you know, this fast pace future that we are in at the moment.
You know, one of the things that we all notice, that parents notice, grandparents notice, is how much screen time there is for kids today. Maybe this is adding to it a little bit, but one of the things that parents have noticed is that the kids are absorbed with that and really aren't paying attention to other things. So tell us what your thoughts are about that, and are you sort of counteracting that?
I would say that definitely. I mean, first, this app it's time boxed. You do it for 15 minutes. It's 3 exercises. You can't basically you can't do anything more for that day. Then you have to wait for the next day. So I think that is, you know, how tools should be done, digital tools. Like, it's time capped. When you're done, you're done. Do something else in the real world. That's the first thing. The second thing is, I mean, we have heard fantastic stories from teenagers being, I mean, addicted to social media apps, saying that after this training, it actually have strengthened my focus, so I can basically turn away from this, you know, very, very high dopamine type of apps like TikTok. So we have had teenagers doing this and afterwards deleting TikTok. And I think, I mean, that is just amazing news for parents to hear about, I think.
And I'm curious as to the length of time. You were saying, what, 6 weeks or so that they do this for?
Yeah, I mean, the study was a protocol where you did a little bit more every day. In total is around 12 hours. But the app that we are, that's on App Store and Google Play Store, you do it for 8 to 13 weeks, depending on how often you do it, basically.
And you don't go back to it later on. Once you're done with this. You don't come
Yeah,
back
I
within
mean,
6 months or a year.
all the studies is done one time, and you have long-term effects. I mean, you can do booster sessions, you can do it, once a year, but it is enough to do it once because you are exercising your working memory, and it is growing as you grow older. So, you can, what it does is the app or the training program helps you make a jump. So you might have say a 7 years old working memory capacity, and in 10 weeks you can do a jump to an 8 years working memory capacity, and then you just, it will continue grow. So next year it will be on a 9 years level, although you might be 8 years because you made that jump with the program.
So what kinds of capabilities would be improved here? What if parents are wanting to give this a try with their kids, what should they expect? Where are they going to see improvements?
Yeah, so I mean, you would see improvements in everyday things like, being able to stay on a task for a longer time. For example, reading, homework, yeah, different types of things where you need to concentrate quite a lot. But you would also see things like being able to, I mean, especially if you're a bit older, planning and executing things. We have heard teenagers, now being able to, just take care of the room, tidy up things, not just throwing their clothes everywhere as soon as they get home, even helping out with dishes and washing clothes. I mean, that kind of stuff, because I mean, you're just being better at executing things. This is the brain's executive functions. So, I mean, those are two very concrete things, in your everyday life. What we can see, of course, if you're able to stay focused longer on difficult tasks, your grades will go up. Your academic performance will increase. And I mean, that is very, very elegantly shown in this study that I mentioned, this German study, with an increased chances of entering academic more rigorous schools 3 years later.
Sounds fascinating. I'm sure lots of parents are intrigued if it gets kids to help with dishes and cleaning their rooms besides the academics. So
yeah,
tell us about how pricing works and the availability.
Yeah, I mean, we have just put it out on App Store and Google Play Store. So if you have a smartphone, you can download the Nuroe Parent app and then create up to 2 accounts. So you can do it together with your kid or your child. Or if you have 2 kids at home, they can do it simultaneously. And we are just applying a very, very easy model for this subscription model, because we want parents and their kids to be motivated. You pay for as long as you need to complete the training. And it costs $9.99 USD per month.
And typically you're talking about 2 or 3 months maximum.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And there's also a free trial to get started?
Yes, there's a 14 days free trial.
Very interesting. And again, it's spelled Nuroe. That's the app you can look for on Apple or Google. Very interesting. And we look forward to more. Are you working on other areas or other kinds of training as well?
I mean, this is what we do, working memory. And, it sounds very small at the moment. I mean, we own this category. Professor Torkel Klingberg, who is co-founder of this company, he's the pioneer in this area. We own this area, It's very small today because people don't know about this, but we think that this, in the new world we're living in, where skills is more important than knowledge, we think that working memory training will just grow and be more and more and more important. And then we can apply it to different demographics depending on the effects.
Terrific. Again, it's Nuroe, Nuroe. Hoa Ly, thank you for spending time with us.
Thank you so much, Fred.